3 mark on the road, and they are 2-3 in their last 5 games. And that one at Charlotte, a surprise to a lot of folks in the league. The Kickers and Kicker fans looking down the schedule definitely had this match circled.
Right.
They knew this was going to be a big one. Charlotte, though, putting the Kickers within striking distance of the top of the table with that 2-0 loss at Charlotte on the 20th.
Yep, on Wednesday night they lost at Charlotte, and now Orlando is sitting with a record of 16-3-4, good for 52 points. The starting lineups for the Orlando City SC, it'll be Miguel Gallardo in goal. Tyler Turner and Brad Russin will be playing on the defense, number 2 and number 3. Also a defender tonight is number 5, Rafael Ramos. Also in the midfield, it's going to be Aduma Umbunge at number 8. He'll be in the midfield. Corey Herzog is going to be playing a forward position. Dennis Chin playing a forward position as well. Darwin Seren will also be playing in the midfield. Kevin Molina leads the USL with 15 goals, is playing in the midfield. Rob Valentino and Valrimo Lamira is also starting for Orlando City. We're going to take a break. We'll come back and have more USL Pro Soccer for you. And welcome back. City Stadium, USL Pro matchup tonight. Orlando City SC and the Richmond Kickers. We gave you Orlando City starting lineup. Joey, how about Richmond starting lineup?
All right, folks. As you know, Ryan Taylor's got the assignment in goal tonight. Joe Willis up in D.C. with D.C. United after VCU alum Andrew Dykstra went down. William Yambi on the back line as he's been a stalwart our season. Sasha Gore is one of your assistant coaches also on the defense. Connor Shanowski, though, that DC United relationship going 2 ways. He'll be on the back line wearing number 26. And Alex Lee, who's been a great contributor this season, rounding out the back 4. Luke Vergaloni returns into the midfield along with Samuel Asante and Shea Spitz. And George Davis IV in the midfield. Jason Yeisley's going to start up top with the other DC United visitor, Kyle Porter. And Matthew Delacotte right now inactive for the game tonight. And some kind of hangover from the injury. He had a little collision down near the goal in the game last week. And I know, Mike, you've got a little bit more on what happened in that one.
Yeah, he went for a scoring opportunity, ended up tripping over the goal post, and then he actually, his back hit the wheel. There's a wheel on the back of these goals so they can move them, and he went very hard into that wheel. So he's inactive. We think it's due to that injury, again, that he has sustained last week. Your referee, the center referee this evening, is Matthew Franz. Michael Piercy and Clive Edwards are the referee's assistants. Our fourth official this evening is James Walker. As we get you ready in this, Joey, last week, of course, a 1-1 draw a very disappointing 1-1 draw for Richmond as they took on Dayton. And, of course, this game still has importance because coming into tonight, Richmond is just 3 points out of first place from Orlando City. But, you know, that game really, even though it was a draw, felt more like a loss because it was Dayton, one of the bottom-tier teams in the USL. Very disappointing result. But still, very alive is Richmond for an opportunity to gain that top seed and home field advantage throughout the upcoming playoffs.
Exactly. Richmond will be at home on the 13th no matter where they land in the playoff scenario. The math already gets them there. But I tell you, This is not Dayton. This is a much more talented team. Now, Orlando, they had a disappointing result, too, the last time they were out. But, I mean, you've got the first guy that jumps off the list at you right there is wearing number 18 out there, Kevin Molino. He's got 15 goals on the season. He's tied for all-time scoring.
Yep.
Matt Delicott right behind him there with 14, but Orlando is they bring a number of challenges and looking to be at full strength in their starting lineup.
So here's Yaisley chesting the ball over to Shea Spitz. He rolls it over on the far side. That's intercepted by Orlando and then played forward. And now here's Samuel Asante, who's had a terrific year for Richmond in the midfield area, plays it back, and now the ball is played back to Ryan Taylor in goal. As you mentioned, Joe Willis up with DC United. Now the ball is played forward. Shanowski playing it to the midfield area. Here's Asante rolling off a nice ball to Gorez. Tried to play it ahead to George Davis IV. George Davis IV coming into tonight, folks, the 6th leading scorer in USL Pro. He went into double figures last week, getting a goal. He now has 10 goals, so he's right behind Deli. Deli leading the Kickers with 14 goals, and as Joey mentioned, is second in the league in scoring behind number 18 tonight for Orlando City. That's Kevin Molino. You want to watch him. He's going to be a very dangerous offensive performer for Orlando City. And right now Orlando City has possession, but they lose it, and the Kickers come up with it. Now they play it wide on the far side. We've got some threatening weather. We've got some overcast. We've really been dodged the rain for the most part so far today, and we hope it continues. And, of course, they will play in the rain. It's when they see the lightning and the thunder. That's when we get a little nervous about delays and so forth. But here's Orlando getting a turnover, getting a shot on goal. That's way wide. As that shot was taken, that might have been Molino right there.
It was. Molino's hair's changed a little bit from his headshot at the beginning of the season. Didn't get the turn on that he wanted, but the Kickers have got to mark him tight. You cannot give that guy space that high up top the 18. He can definitely put something on it, and you can tell the way he pulled his head up. If he had another shot at that one, we would have definitely seen an early challenge for Taylor.
And, Joey, something we've seen from Richmond this year is it's been a trend that, not a constant trend, but turnovers. That opportunity led to a misplay in the Richmond third of the field that led to that opportunity for Molina. They got to be a lot more careful with the ball. They've got to really possess tonight.
They really do, and it starts in the midfield for both of these teams. And you do miss Deli, but you bring in Porter, who Porter is just He hasn't not scored when he's been on the pitch here in Richmond in just 5 games. But, Davis he's gonna have a bullseye on his back, but so is number 18.
Yep. Ball is played over to number 24 for Orlando. Now they play it on the far side. 24 is Lemira. And now the ball is played, possession for Orlando City. Near midfield as Yaisley came back and disrupted that play, and it'll be a throw-in for Richmond.
That was a great play by Yaisley. Orlando looked really comfortable. They were building up there and kind of fell asleep, didn't think about the forwards behind them. Great play by Yaisley to poke that one out.
Gorez playing it forward for Richmond now. That's number 2, Turner, for Orlando City.
But you talk about another turnover there, and that was a ball they gave up out of the air.
Now the ball is settled here on the near side by number 11. That's Herzog. Into the box it goes. Ball's headed away. And George Davis IV plays it over to Sasha Gorez.
Great job by Yambi to get up on that one.
Long ball played ahead, controlled by Orlando City, near midfield. Underway here at Richmond, we're scoreless. Played less than 5 minutes, and this one here is Lemira. Valdemaro Lemira is number 24 for Orlando City. Ball played on the far side now. As Orlando City, Richmond came out here in about the first 90 seconds and controlled possession. Now we're starting to see Orlando City with possession. Here's Valentino playing it forward. And now the ball is played back towards Orlando City's goal and is controlled by the defender. I think that's Russin over there, number 3.
Yeah, well, Yaisley's going to be out there up top in Deli's spot, kind of playing the number 1 spot. And you see both Porter and Vercoloni coming back there. They're really, you got 63 shots here for 2 players on this Orlando City roster, both between Molino and Bengale. So those 2 players have just put it on goal over 120 times. I mean, so the Kickers have to respect that they're going to see a lot of shots come their way regardless of how tight their defense is.
Goal kick for Richmond, and Taylor will take this.
So far, like you said, it's been a little bit seesaw. They're, teams feeling each other out. The first 5 and the last 5 of each half are kind of where those crucial things can happen. But I got to say the Kickers have played smart and made sure they've stayed, kept the ball in front of them so far defensively.
Here's the ball play. Good to see Luke Vercoloni back after a 1-game suspension because of yellow card accumulation. So now it'll be a throw in for Orlando City.
And he and Darwin Sarin are going to kind of be paired near each other in the field. And Sarin with 36 fouls himself, he's been had the whistle blown on him more than any of the Lions there for Orlando City. So the referee will keep an eye on those two. I'm sure those numbers were thought about before when he put his notebook in his pocket tonight.
Oh, nice cross that time by Turner, and that opportunity just missed. What a great ball sent in by Tyler Turner. And it is going to be a corner kick, our first one tonight.
Yeah, good deflection there. Gorez was over to help out. They did a good job dashing that one. The corners are very tight here at City Stadium. This was, I think the stadium was built more with football in mind, and those would have been the back corners of an end zone. Not throwing any fades out here, and you're really going to have a hard time running up on a corner kick there. And he's right in front of the Red Army either. That's some home field advantage. It doesn't help Orlando's road woes.
Here's the kick, and George Davis IV flicks it out of harm's way. Shea Spitz lost that 50-50, although ball, but it goes to Asante. And Asante, it'll be a throw-in. The Orlando bench was up moaning about that call.
Yeah, but Bengala, he was there, definitely the one who put that one out for them.
So here's George Davis IV. He gets run over, no call. Now Lee Collishaw is the one that's up for Richmond, as possession is controlled by Sarin. And now a turnover, and here comes Shea Spitz down on the near side. Spitz with some opportunity. Boy, he had some great opportunities last week and just couldn't convert. Very frustrating for Shea Spitz. Another bump off the ball, no call.
And that's Sarin again. So if that's how the referee's going to call this one, that's something else these teams have to figure out in the first 5 minutes. If it's going to be a contact match, the officials are going to let them play like that, and the kickers have to adjust their game and get physical out there.
And I think, Joey, if this game continues with that kind of trend, I think it favors Orlando City.
It absolutely does. Orlando's definitely got some size advantage in some of these positions, and that was not the smartest play there, and that comes from Gorez, who's a veteran and one of your assistant coaches. Tried to get away with a little shove down there. Really didn't need to. I think that one was headed towards the end line.
Made that way too obvious. And now it looks like Molina is going to confer with, I believe, number 8. And that is Umbenge.
Yeah, Umbenge has got 63 shots. Not that many goals to show for it, but, he's the guy that sets things up. He's definitely a creator on this team out of the midfield.
This is dangerous here.
Well, false start there on the kick.
Umbenge putting it into the box. It's still loose. Oh, it's headed away off the goal line. I'm not sure if that was Shinowski. Here's a follow-up and a goal.
Vercoloni did his best there as a defender, did exactly what he was supposed to do on the end line in the goal, played the far post, headed it out, and Adrian Heath's team fires first. And as we said, Orlando City's got a lot of firepower, and that second volley through all that traffic, I think it was headed into the net there before Taylor was ever even able to see that one with all those folks in front of him.
I think they're crediting the goal to Lamira, number 24. Lamira in the 8th minute, after a terrific, I believe it was Shinowski, someone from Richmond got a head on it right at the goal line, prevented a goal. But then the follow-up, as you mentioned, Joey, great shot. It was low, and it somehow avoided all the defenders in front and found the back of the net. And Richmond finds themselves down 1-0 here early. Here's Shea Spitz with a cross, and it's flicked away by Orlando. It'll be a throw-in for Richmond.
That was a gutty play there with red jerseys crashing in behind. Nice little flick away there by Ramos. He's one of the Benfica pickups that Orlando was able to pull. I'll tell you, this Orlando, between what they're going to be doing in the MLS next year and what they've done in the USL, some impressive names and some impressive teams associated with them.
Now keep in mind, Richmond has a 23-game unbeaten streak in USL Pro play. And they are also, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, unbeaten here at home. Yeah, they're 8-0-5 here at City Stadium. They only have one loss on the season.
There's a lot of football left to play, and Richmond can definitely make an adjustment. Shea Spitz showed you how quickly he can get out and get a ball right through their 18.
And Herzog is fouled by Samuel Asante.
And see, this is an acting job here. Now, Asante is getting an earful, and I don't like that because Asante – he threw a hip check earlier and didn't get a whistle blown on him. And it was, he stepped in front of the ball and took the ball, but there was more contact on that play than there was there. And Asante made another play for the ball. And that one, it's some good acting there. And that's part of the game. You have to accept it. But definitely won the dramatic part of that there. And now looks like Sarin and Mbengwe are going to stand over this one. And this is where Mbengwe gets a lot of his shots on goal because he takes so many of these free kicks for Orlando.
So Mbengwe is lining this one up, and now he gets away from it. Now it's going to be Sarin taking it, looks like. That ball gets through, and it'll be a goal kick for Richmond.
A little extra whistle there. It looked like he was checking with the side judge for the call.
Yeah. But, I thought he was pointing for a corner kick,
Me
Joey.
too. I was a little worried about a deflection there. But the Kickers need to rebound here, and they need to be smart. And something that we're seeing, them do is we're going to see how they do with the long ball here. They got to win a lot of these 50-50 balls out of the air tonight. And that's something that Lee Collishaw teams have always been good at, even if they don't go up for it. And right there, good first touch, but lost it on the deflection.
Now Yambi plays it over to Sasha Gorez. And one thing you mentioned, and rightfully so, Joey, is the fact that plenty of time left in this. You don't want to panic here. It's only one goal. And like you said, there's we barely played a quarter of this first half. And plenty of time for Richmond to get back in this.
Oh, yeah, and we've seen them do it here this season. We've seen them do it on the road. The only thing that was a little bit concerning when we were discussing the game is that, Richmond's done two things this year. Sometimes they play down to their competition, and there's a lot of draws they have. They have 10 draws. Some of those should have been wins.
Right.
But at the same time, without Delhi, you're a little bit worried about it. But you have Porter. There's a shot!
Off the inside of the post. And that ball is cleared off. Wow.
Maybe we should stop pontificating and just let these guys do what we say they're going to do.
Right, that's
because
right.
that was exactly what we're talking about. Great turn there from the top of the 18.
Here's Asante as Richmond tries to keep up the offensive pressure. Plays it over to Vercoloni. Into the box it goes, and it's cleared away. Spitz. Here's Vercoloni. Gets to the end line with a cross, and that's knocked away. It's going to stay in play. And Vercoloni will settle it. Turn, good, strong cross, and headed up in the air by Porter and over the bar. And good stuff from Richmond.
That's exactly what you need to do because this is the counterpunch now to Orlando City's goal. Orlando City's going to keep shooting.
Sure.
That's what they do. They score a lot.
Sure.
And they're going to keep putting the pressure. You make them respect you offensively after just giving up a goal 4 minutes ago. And now Orlando has to make sure that we can't just cheat up. We're going to have to make sure we play honest defense here because these guys can counterpunch.
Right. So here's the goal kick. And Yambi gets ahead on it. Tracking that one down is George Davis IV. Great interview we had with George last week after the 1-1 draw with Dayton. Really a good guy and good interview. And
he's a class kid, and I tell you, if he was 2 inches taller, a lot of teams wouldn't have overlooked this guy. We're lucky to have him here in Richmond, and I think his future's bright, whether it's here or at the next level.
Exactly right. So we'll throw in for Orlando City, leading at 1-0 on the goal from number 24, Lemira.
Yeah, Davis the fourth, also just an unbelievable at the set pieces. I mean, he's just so dangerous, and he very much like Mbengwe on the other side, just as dangerous.
Here's Molino rolling it over on the far side, and a shot, or a cross actually, and Yambi got a piece of that, or did he not? Nope, it's going to be a goal kick.
No, but he was exactly where he needed to be for that dangerous cross in, and just a little bit off speed there, not timing the runs very well. I mean, that rebound goal, I don't think the Kickers need to feel terrible about that. You gave up a goal early, but like I said, you cleared the shot you wanted to clear out. You don't want to give up the goal, but just, that shot fired through traffic, keeper can't really see that. Those are going to happen. It's how you respond now, and the Kickers have done a pretty good job of responding.
Yambi in a foot race. Now Taylor comes way out of goal, and that ball is going to stay in play. And George Davis IV, nice job of tracking back, and Vercoloni rolls it over to Asante, and that's a pass that's going to be picked off. Good anticipation that time by Orlando City, and now a throw-in.
Lee getting a little chippy. Lee's not one to – he definitely shows his emotions out there. He's a fiery guy. But I think it's good to have that in your 11 somewhere.
Here's George Davis IV. He's got some pressure on him, but he rolls it over to William Yambi, the veteran defender for Richmond. He'll play it over to Shinosky. Those two have been, when Shinosky's been down here from D.C., he has played very well with Yambi in the back.
It's nice to have him, too, because you've lost Kalungi for the season with the ACL, and he's had his surgery. He's recovering well, but, he and Yambi have done such great work defensively, just kind of being true back there. And able to play the ball up forward, and it's just nice to have Shinosky be able to come down from D.C. and help out, especially in a match like you have tonight.
Shanoski will play it back to Ryan Taylor. 1-0 Orlando City. A goal in the 8th minute from Lemira. Mike Neville and Joey Ellswick along with you. Hope you're enjoying our coverage. Here's the ball played, and Taylor. Ooh. That was being on the fence right there, right, Joey?
Taylor doing his best. I had to know where that line was there, right at the top of the box. But you saw that blonde streak of coming in there for number 18, and coming off of Kevin Molino, and you got to make sure that ball stays away from him.
Well, I think Taylor thought it should have been offsides. There's a ball chipped in by Porter, but it's going to be easily handled by Gallardo. But I think Taylor thought it was offsides. That's why he kind of
came out far
because he didn't think
there
would be any reason for him to field it.
That was the first place he looked when he landed.
Yeah, exactly.
He looked at his feet, and then he looked over to the side judge to see if the flag is up.
There's the ball played ahead to Herzog. Corey Herzog for Orlando City. Off to Molino. And he rolls it over to number 17, Sarin. Orlando City building here.
I think fitness is going to be a big part of this match tonight, and I've been wondering about Orlando City's as they've started to skid a little bit after such a dominant start.
Right.
And I want to see where they're going to be in the second half of this match, because that's something Richmond has not struggled with. They've worn teams down, and they've been able to strike late several times this year.
So throw in for Turner and Orlando City, and he goes to our goal scorer, Lemira. Lemira playing it to Molino, and now he'll drop it back near midfield as he hooked up with number 22, Valentino, and we've got a whistle.
Backed in a little bit too hard there against Yambi, trying to play position for a ball he never had a shot at, but that'll give the Kickers the quick free kick here, and they'll be able to play this one from the back line.
So here is Shanoski on the far side. Here at City Stadium in Richmond, Yambi playing it with a quick touch ahead to Gorez. Sasha takes a look, and that ball floats over Yaisley's head. And now it's controlled by Valentino, and he gives away to his teammate. Here's Lemira to Molino. Ball flicked ahead. And George Davis IV read that, but then turned it right back over.
Yeah, good touch there by Davis to try to flick that one over to Yaisley. He was trying to turn that one forward, but maybe could have played it back.
Oh, great ball through to – there's a shot. Molino with a beautiful through ball. I believe that was Herzog that took that shot, number 11.
Yeah, Corey Herzog and Dennis Chin, the two forwards for Orlando, but not the guys that you look for at the top of the stat sheet. I mean, they've definitely made a splash this season. Chin's got 6, and Herzog, doesn't have hasn't quite made quite the impact there. He's got 4. Of course, when you got a guy with 15, those seem like small numbers.
Exactly.
Most guys would love to have 1.
Right.
But, they're definitely dangerous as well. And you've got to think later in the season as you get more and more clogged up and more folks are marking 18 for Orlando tightly, those guys are going to see looks.
Yep.
Something I've also seen, Mike, is Herzog seems to have the assignment to really try to close down Sasha Gorez and not give him a chance to get a good look downfield and distribute. With Gorez playing over here at left back now, that's going to open things up if he can get that pass through to Davis IV, and the Kickers can be down the field and looking to attack in 2 passes if Gorez is able to make that turn.
And that's something we've seen teams, and usually it's not just the Kickers, but when you have that high pressure on defenders and make them rush their passes, it's going to usually cause some turnovers or the inability to hook up with teammates, and that's what we've seen. We've seen the Kickers do it to the opposition. We've also seen the opposition do it to Richmond. So, and I agree with you, Joey. That's the game plan tonight for Orlando City is pressure Gorez because he's so good at finding players with great touch and great pinpoint passes.
Yeah, I mean, his ability, and it's something he's done his entire career here. It's been so much fun to watch. Just his ability, like you said, not just to bring it downfield with distance. I mean, most teams play the long ball and hope to win it. Gorez is looking to put it right on somebody's chest or right in front of somebody's feet when he sends that ball down the pitch.
Ball played around. Now Porter had it and then had it knocked away from him. And here comes Orlando City on the attack. Ball chipped ahead, and Ryan Taylor off his line to easily handle that for Richmond.
Been impressed with the approach in the midfield by Orlando City so far. They've been able to kind of poke the ball away from the Kickers. Porter had it happen to him. We saw it happen to Davis just a moment ago, and Samuel Asante as well. They're looking to do the right thing, but when they turn around, they've got a white jersey right where they're moving.
So here's Shanoski rolling it ahead. Alex Lee playing it back to Kyle Porter. Porter trying to hook up with George Davis IV, and that ball's headed away. Shanoski will gently knock it over to William Yambi. I'll tell you, Yambi's not the quickest of foot, but I'll tell you, he can make some moves with the ball and really be very deceptive with his ball handling with his feet.
I know a lot of defenders you think are just guys who've got a lot of power. They can give you that clearance, but no. If Yambi was a little bit faster, he'd probably be a midfielder, but he's got that size as well.
Here's Herzog to Molino. He tried to slide a pass through. Might have been better off settling that and trying to get a shot away.
He had a little bit of space to work with there, but.
Here's Bercoloni, George Davis IV. Great job by George Davis IV to settle that ball and keep it alive. Geisley tried to nudge it back to Spitz, and now here comes the turnover, and here's Molino off to Tyler Turner. Turner trying to work on Bercoloni, slipped and fell. Oh.
That's a turf issue. It's been raining off and on today. It's a little bit wet down there. That was lost footing there, and you can hear the fans in the box next door giving the officials giving them the business. And I got to say, I'm not being a homer here. That was not a good call because this free kick is a great opportunity for Orlando.
So it looks like it's going to be number 8, Mbenge, lining it up. As you mentioned, Joey, this is where he gets a lot of his shots off these free kicks. Hooks one in, and that was easily handled by Taylor. Would have been offsides anyways. Richmond did a great job of stepping up.
Yeah, that was a nice trap there. It was a smart play by them. You can tell that's something they've seen in their scout that they think they can get away with against Orlando.
So Geisley, here's the ball played now to Asante, Samuel Asante.
He is so strong with the ball despite his size. You look at him and think, oh, look at the, he doesn't have a big size in midfield. That guy plays a lot bigger than he is.
Here's Porter, right back to Asante. Asante got through. Oh!
That's right on the edge of the box.
Yeah, we do have a foul. It's not going to be a penalty kick, but it's going to be a great opportunity for Richmond just outside the box. That was borderline. That was right there. If he would have called a PK, I wouldn't have had a problem with that.
I don't think anybody would have watching it from this angle. But like you said, it's right on the edge of the box. It's going to take a lot for the official. It's going to have to be 100% crystal before they point to the spot. Asante falls into the box, so that draws out the boos and stuff. But this is a great opportunity, and Richmond can really make the most of it here. There was a similar ball played in from around this area off of a foul at the other end, and it was that second opportunity that got Orlando on the board. Let's see if Richmond can recreate that.
How about the move by Asante? He flicked it between the defender's legs, and that is what drew the foul.
Yeah, he's made some great moves tonight. That kid's focused. He's out here, and he is ready.
So here's Shea Spitz lining up, and that one hooks over the goal.
Yeah, the Richmond definitely tried to overload there on the far post and play it back in, I think, because then you do get the opportunity on somebody near post to maybe get a second chance at it. A little bit too strong. There is some wind out there tonight, though, that they're dealing with because, as you said, we got clouds and green spots swirling over the radar tonight. So we're going to be keeping an eye on that as well.
So here's Gallardo, the goalkeeper for Orlando City, lining up the goal kick.
Orlando's been able to get forward since they scored, but haven't really put the Kickers back on their heels the way they did in those first 5 or 6 minutes. And Richmond's made the most of their possession, though it has been somewhat limited.
Ball is chipped ahead and out of play to be a throw-in for Richmond. And it looks like it's going to be Sasha Gores taking it.
So, yeah, been impressed. But like I said, we talk about fitness. Orlando slowed things down just a little bit and maybe decided, like I said, once Richmond scared them, at that opportunity, they had that shot back in the 12th minute. They've pulled back a little bit on the offensive pressure, try to protect that goal a little bit more.
So here's Shanoski across midfield to Kyle Porter. Porter being harassed. Now plays it over on the far side of the league. It's the return pass. Porter has some opportunities. Now he just flicks it ahead, and that's cleared away by Orlando City. Yambi will track that down near midfield for Richmond.
Shea Spitz going to try to sneak down here on the left side. Good sliding play there.
Yeah, Herzog made a nice play there.
Yeah, that's a good defensive play by forward.
Yep. So a throw in for Sasha Gores. 1-0 Orlando City on top, getting a goal in the 8th minute from number 24, Lemira. Here's a ball into the middle. It's just flicked away. And Gores, that ball went off the back of his leg, and George Davis IV will track that down.
Davis has had some room to operate tonight.
Here's Shea Spitz. Let's see if he can get across. He does, and it slides through. I'm not sure Porter thought that was going to come through, but it did, and unfortunately he couldn't get a foot on it.
Yeah, that one coasted right in front of Porter there. I believe Yaisley also had a look at it, but they were a step behind the defender trying to stay on, and so they couldn't really get through there and didn't make that break.
Here's another opportunity. Spitz settling in, and another strong cross. Oh, it sailed over the head of Porter. Just a little too much on that one.
What you're looking at right now, Mike, between what's happened with Porter here, because he's had a couple looks on goals, Porter's trying to get into rhythm.
Right.
You know, coming down from D.C. for this one, he's got to get back into rhythm. He's not unfamiliar with these guys, but these haven't been the guy. He hasn't been grinding out all the games all season with these other teammates, and they're going to find each other because it looks like that left side right now for Orlando is open.
Right.
Spitz has been able to get free and get some nice crosses in and some nice passes forward.
Exactly. Hey, folks, you want to find out what's happening at USL Pro Soccer, scores, stats, news, and more, you can find it exclusively on USLProSoccer.com. That's where you can go for all the latest news, the scores, the stats, whatever is happening in USL Pro. That's USLProSoccer.com.
And Orlando here was content to play it back a little bit. Now they're going to try to put the Kickers on a quick turn forward.
Here's the ball played over it. Oh, nicely read that time. Beautiful play that time. Was that Vercoloni? I'm not sure if it was Luke.
Vercoloni kind of forced it out wide, and then it was Lee that stepped through on that one.
Good ball over here to Porter. Can he chase it down? He does. He gets around his defender, gets inside the box, takes a shot, and Gallardo handles that for Orlando City.
Gallardo is an excellent keeper. Excellent keeper. He has played all but one contest this season. He has got a ton of shutouts, 8 of them, I think, to total on the season. He's given up I believe about 18 goals this season, and just a fantastic keeper. So Porter had the right idea, just couldn't push that one a little bit further left there. But, I mean, once Les said, this defense steps through, they're fine, and they can get 2 passes and be ready to strike.
Ball played near midfield. Vercoloni dropping it back to Shanoski.
Yeah, 18 goals there. He has handled 60. He's made 60 saves, and he's had kept the sheet clean 8 times.
And that's what you want from your goalkeeper.
That's half of Orlando's wins as shutouts.
That's impressive. Orlando City at near midfield now as they control. Adrian Heath up on the bench directing traffic for Orlando City.
He's been immensely successful in his time with the club. He's got years of experience, played in the EPL from 79 to 88. And he has just done a wonder there at Orlando City. It's just 2 class clubs for the USL.
Exactly.
I mean, Richmond with their youth program and everything they've been able to do in the city from the youth program up to their success at the pro level.
Yep.
And Orlando's just done a fantastic job in their time as a club, and they'll be in the MLS next year.
Here's the ball played. Tyler Turner. Another strong cross, and that one skims over the end line. Boy, I'll tell you, Richmond's Tyler Turner, folks, is a defender, but he's made a couple of nice plays moving up. Tremendous crosses. He had one earlier. Remember, he didn't even let it settle. He just hit it one time. He's had a couple of crosses that have been very dangerous. The Kickers got to be really aware of where he's at on the field.
Tyler Turner with just 1 goal and 2 assists, but maybe that's something they felt like they can do because he comes right down the middle, and that's the lane that they're looking for him from. And he does bring in that extra number. If you're marking the forwards and the midfielders, he's that extra person that, maybe you don't have someone marking because you're keeping Yaisley up front, but it forces the Kickers to play another guy back. Either Vercoloni or Porter have to come back to respect that.
Here's Shanoski now. Richmond down 1-0, a goal in the 8th minute by Orlando City. Trying to track that down and keep it in play, and they will. Here's Alex Lee. Lee dropping it back to Kyle Porter. Porter with some maneuvers. And here's a cross into the box, and it's headed away trying to hook up with Yaisley. He's a big target, and it'll be a throw-in for Richmond.
Yeah, Yaisley's a big target, and I understand the switch here, but I want Porter a little bit closer to goal. I like Lee out there on the wing, but if, Richmond could do something a little bit different and get Porter on towards goal, and he will kind of head towards the top of the 18 now and get set to break in.
Here's the ball played back to Lee now. Looking for the cross. Some pressure from Orlando City, and they get the turnover. Richmond almost got it back, and now the ball played to Gallardo.
Nothing else they could really do there with that one, but pressure from the Kickers the whole way.
And almost a steal by Alex Lee. Lee takes a collision, and they're going to whistle a foul, you think, against Lee, and he's the one that hit the turf.
Yeah, I mean, it looked like to me the way the ball went away there that Lee would have poked that away and ball first, but maybe it was more of there was a collision there, and I guess they're saying maybe Lee was a little bit out of control as he kind of collided a bit there after he poked that one away. So Lee's going to get whistled, and that's not going to make him any happier out there. But Alex Lee's been stepping up tonight.
Yeah.
And, this is a different lineup for Lee Collishaw, but he's been able to make it work. And the kickers have not been flat without Delicate, which is something we were worried about. We've seen that. He was out earlier in the year and came in the second half of a match and scored 2 goals very quickly. But the kickers have definitely created more opportunities in this match than they did then when Deli missed the first half.
So here's Turner playing it back now to our goal scorer, Lemira. And now he'll play it back to number 22, Valentino. And he'll go over on the far side. And Asante came up with a nice steal. Here's the ball played forward. Shea Spitz takes a shot, and Gallardo handled that with ease.
Put it right there in the same place that Porter did, and Gallardo is right there on top of it. Is just a world-class keeper right now for Orlando. Definitely one of the best in USL Pro. But
nice little pass by Yeisley to spring Spitz.
And I tell you what, Yeisley would have gotten a foul, but the referees gave advantage because Spitz was out there and onside. Yeisley did the only thing he could there because he got sandwiched on that one.
So here's Shinosky playing it to Gorez.
Crowd getting into it a little bit more, and they've really filled out City Stadium here tonight.
Oh, beautiful give and go. Here's Spitz. Shea Spitz, he loves that left foot, gets it across, and Gallardo, good aggressive play off his line to read that cross.
Had all the room out in front, if that wasn't a counter swing, the kickers would have had one more red jersey. He would have had to stay home on that. We would have seen a header, but Spitz did the smart play there and pulled that out and let his teammates catch up with him.
Richmond trying to equalize this first half. They're down 1-0. An early goal in the 8th minute by Orlando City, and they have the 1-0 advantage here at City Stadium.
First and second place, this is what you play for.
And now the Orlando bench, almost the entire bench is, and George Davis IV is pleading his case.
I think he's going to get a booking for that. Yeah. He got the ball, but it's the studs were up, and he continued through on the slide, and that's a hard play for Davis because he thinks he's going to get the ball. But I will credit credit to Orlando. That was a huge risk taken because he saw that tackle, saw the studs up, and he ran through it. And you risk yourself and you risk your own fitness to get the foul call. And Davis came in with both feet down on the ball. I mean, it was a dangerous tackle for Davis, but he played the ball first, and that was a gutty play by Orlando to get the foul called, and Davis now picks up the caution.
Adrian Heath and his entire coaching staff and even the players on the bench all jumped up and very nearly came onto the field. They were right there at the edge of the line.
Yeah, I mean, it's a tough tackle. It was a very strong tackle by Davis, and like I said, he was trying to play the ball, and Davis is over there near the bench, I think, trying to maybe plead his case a little bit that, he was making a play for the ball and not for the man. And like I said, the Orlando City player there definitely played through on that tackle and took that contact, and you just hope nobody wants to get hurt in this game. You want to see the best of both teams out there, and, Davis kind of settling things down a little bit.
Yeah, George Davis IV is over near the Orlando bench kind of explaining it was nothing intentional, but just one of those hard fouls. And
yeah, and Davis, it's not like Davis came in late on that.
Right.
There was no intention to commit the foul there and to take Lemira out.
Yep.
And Lemira, I think, is not coming out of this matchup right now. They're going to do he's going to come over to the bench, going to get the cold spray. I mean, that definitely hurt.
Yeah.
There's no question about it. That one stung a little bit, but I think he's going to re-enter this contest. I mean, he's your goal scorer right now, and he's one of the Benfica guys that came over along with Ramos. So, you're going to, it's going to take a lot for him to have to come out of this match.
Adrian Heath was giving the fourth official at the bench there, James Walker, an earful. There's a cross, and Taylor, it'll be a corner kick.
And Taylor and Gorez was even a little bit having some communication issues as well. I think for Taylor, he was waiting for the whistle. He saw that there was a player down. It was Dennis Chin.
Yeah.
Chin, I guess, had made some contact there and gotten kind of caught somewhere in the face. And I think Taylor thought there was going to be a whistle and wasn't really concerned about making the grab, but it's another corner kick right in front of the Red Army.
So here's the corner kick on the way, looking for the far post, punched away by Taylor, and I think we're going to get another corner kick. Oh, foul in the box.
Yeah, there was a lot of bodies flying out there, really out away from the goal. That one was played long. A little bit overcompensation there as it was kicked into the wind, but Taylor was right where he was supposed to be.
So goal kick for Richmond. Mike Neville and Joey Ellswick along with you. Hope you're enjoying our coverage of Richmond Kickers soccer on the YouTube channel. Another great job by our production team. Here's the goal kick. Yeisley flicks it over to George Davis IV. And George Davis IV, that's got to be a foul. I mean, that was clearly number 17, Sarin, who you mentioned is he collects fouls.
Oh yeah, that's his highest tallied statistical category. And I mean, Davis probably could have cut a little bit to the left. He saw Sarah coming in because this is the spot where Davis likes to take his free kicks. George Davis IV can put this one in the back of the net from here, and because of that, he's probably going to get a few more white jerseys on the wall than you normally see from this position.
Does it look like they're 10 yards, Joey? I think they could go back a couple more.
Oh, they could definitely go back a couple more, and our center official's going to step in and walk that out for them. And they should be, exactly. They need to be right at the top of the 18-yard box.
Mr. Franz, Matthew Franz, our center referee, doing a nice job. And this is going to be George Davis. A little hesitation, and that ball was dummied over, but Orlando City read that and cleared it. I personally would have rather had Davis crank that one because we've seen him do it so many times.
Yeah, I mean, he puts it right in the top corner, I mean, it's a rare skill to be that on target, especially from those distances. But Davis IV has it, and I mean, I can understand the idea of the misdirection. That's what everybody's expecting, but the little dummy or failed back heel, but there was nobody to receive it either way.
Right, and there's a foul as Asante goes down. The fouls are piling up, and I believe a yellow card was displayed.
And the caution came out on our guy there, Sarin. Sarin just 2 hard fouls in a row, and some of this comes to the official too, though. He's got to bear this on his shoulders. I mean, I know he's trying to settle this game down, but he let them play for about 25 minutes.
He sure did.
And he let them get physical, and then it escalated to a point, and now he's tightening down on them, and that's a little bit unfair to both sides.
Yeah, exactly. So George Davis IV again. Now Sasha's also over there. Richmond looking for the equalizer, down 1-0 here in this key matchup. This might be where Gorez might want to. Looks like George is chipping it, and it went over Yambi's head, but he's going to try to keep it in play and but he's going to get some pressure. And the ball pops free, and then it's banged off of Spitz.
Yeah, for Yambi there, that was kind of a lose-lose. I mean, he was the big target there and just played it a little bit long. That's who you want down there, though, trying to pop that header up, and then he tried to play it back to Spitz, but well marked on that far side by Orlando City.
Well, Joey, when you get in those corners, it's kind of like in football when you're down by the end zone. A lot of people think that's the ideal place to be. Here's Yeisley putting one on goal, and Gallardo handles that. But you're so compact, there's not a lot of options for you. That
corner becomes, a kind of a – they talk about the extra defender for cornerbacks, on the pro football level. That definitely becomes the same thing. That back line becomes another defender for – the sideline becomes another defender for the defenders, but for the kickers, they want the defender to make that mistake across the end line and try to win that corner kick, which the Kickers have not had a corner kick yet, and we're in our 39th minute.
So a throw in for Orlando City.
They're so quick to get back down into the Kickers' half, though Richmond, I feel like, has started to win the possession back here. And I talked about fitness, They're controlling a little bit more now here late into the first.
Oh, great ball through.
What a run by Asante.
Here's Samuel Asante into the box, and a shot. Oh, Gallardo made a terrific save with his leg.
How he got his foot on that, because he went left, and Yeisley played it where he needed to. He had him fooled, and he just, was able to get that leg up and just tried to make himself as big as he could.
Beautiful ball through here. It's not over with yet. And now it's cleared away by Orlando City.
Yeah, Davis kind of found himself over there on the other side. Porter on the left, Davis on the right. Davis tried to center that one on, had it in the right place, just not enough on it.
And the cross is headed away. Asante will flick it over for Yambi.
But look how many more white jerseys are back now for the Lions.
There's Asante getting a challenge from Molino. He drops it back to Gorez. Off to Shinosky. Boy, what a golden opportunity to tie things up. Jason, I don't think Yeisley can believe he missed on that.
Yeah, that was.
He took his time.
That was a miraculous save, and he put it where it was supposed to be. And that one surprised Porter that it got through.
Yep.
A jersey tug a little bit there, and they got away with one. Just unfortunate positioning.
Shot attempt was blocked, and now we've got an Orlando player down.
Sante's down on his knees as well. And it looks like he's holding the knee. And I think this isn't just lobbying for the foul. I think this is a sincere injury. Porter was trying to get away, and this defender here that's down, I can't see the number right now because he's got his back away from us. But he was the one that was kind of tangled up with Porter there on that side. And then I think as he tried to make that first step to keep up with Porter, just went down, crumpled, and he was pointing to his knee when the training crew just ran out there. And we do have several players for Orlando City and the Pennies that have been getting loose throughout the first. And this one could be this could be one where they may have to make a sub.
Hey, fans, don't forget to visit the USL Pro fan page. You can find it on Facebook at facebook.com/USL Pro. That's where you can get some information and interact with some fans as well. Facebook, that's where you want to go. Social media, of course, facebook.com/USL Pro.
You know, this has been an awesome summer in the United States for soccer. Richmond is, was the number 9 market for the World Cup. We're the number 6 market for EPL ratings in America. And I tell you right now, you got number 1 and number 2 in the USL Pro. And, you could put different jerseys on these guys and say they were playing at another level. What we've seen back and forth in this match from these teams, this is as good as any soccer I've watched this summer.
Yep, I agree with you. I can't get a number.
It actually looks like it was Herzog, maybe 11.
Is it Herzog? Okay.
And Herzog was, he's been tracking back, like we said, for a forward.
Right.
He almost plays back more the way the right back would normally play up. And he's definitely contributed to the defense. So, he going against Porter there, Porter's not a guy that's easy to keep up with, but he's coming back onto the field. And
I think Herzog blocked that shot.
He did.
And that was a hard shot, too. I believe it was Kyle Porter that took the shot. Here's Gorez winding down this first half. 1-0 Orlando City. Long ball played ahead. And it's controlled now by Orlando City. And there's a turnover. That's a bad giveaway.
Yeah, that was a lazy pass there. Not enough on it.
Here's Porter. Porter knifing his way through, but then held it just a tad too long.
I love a guy like Kyle Porter, but those forwards rarely beat the third man.
Yeah, exactly.
That's the hard thing. You might beat 2, but you're not going to beat the third. And I have a hard time believing that collision brought that much impact. As strong as Asante's play is, that was a pro move there by the first signing of the MLS side there in Kevin Molino.
Yeah, Molino went down, and so here's Lemira, who's back in after that. He had that injury. And that ball squirts through to Ryan Taylor.
Tell you what, right now, if you're pulling for the teams in the red jerseys, all the creativity for Orlando right now is dried up.
Yeah.
And their last few attempts to get the ball forward have just been lazy long balls.
Right.
And they're not really putting their forwards or whoever's playing forward from the midfield in great positions. All the creativity right now is on the kicker side.
There's Porter. He lost possession. Gorez quickly up ahead. Nice anticipation that time by Orlando City. Here's Lemira finding Molino. Molino working on Yambi now. Yambi's got help with Asante. And now Gorez. He attracts a lot of people. Ball slid through beautifully. Here's Herzog. Gets across, and it's headed away. Settled down at the top of the box and then knocked away beautifully. And there's George Davis IV was tackled. And they're going to say goal kick. I don't think a foul was called on that.
The referee pointed towards Davis, but he never blew the whistle.
We got Herzog down again.
Yeah, and he's favoring that same right knee, and he's asking for a sub now. I think I saw him kind of signal over to the bench, and, yeah, we're going to have another player come in. It looks like it's Austin Deleuze who's going to come in.
Austin Deleuze is number 13, and, yeah, it does look he's got the penny off.
And Davis is still down as well, and that brings the Kickers trainers out. And we're kind of nearing the end of the first. I got to imagine we're going to see a significant amount of injury time.
Probably at least 4 minutes, maybe.
I would think at least 4. We've had a couple long stoppages. We had the long stoppage with the hard foul from Davis here.
Yep.
We had it for Herzog. Now Davis down over here at the top of the right at the top
Lemire,
of the box.
when he was hurt, that took a few minutes as well.
Exactly. So I got to think you're going to get at least 4 or 5 minutes here of added time. And with the pace that the Kickers have been able to keep and the type of creativity that we've seen from them, just some really good forward touches. I'd like them to have 5 more minutes.
Joy, the key to the second half, if this lead stands up and, the Orlando goes in, but the key may be which team holds their composure. Both teams are very upset with the officiating, and that's we've seen that before in Richmond games where they kind of get taken away from their game plan by complaining that usually Richmond has a lead, and the other team comes back and either ties it or Richmond is able to hang on. But I think it's going to be which team has the composure here in the second half to not get any more yellow cards or give free kick opportunities near the box. What do you think?
I absolutely agree with you, Mike. That's an excellent point. And it is something because there's a lot of young players on this team.
Exactly.
And that's part of the game that they have to learn because they're playing at this pro level now, and it's 3 minutes of added time there, so a little bit less than we thought we would get. But, you're absolutely right. Composure is going to be a big part of it because both teams have been making some hard fouls and not getting the calls that they want. We've seen a couple cautions come out on both sides as well. It's definitely going to be keeping their composure. And Richmond's really got the momentum in their corner right now. They cannot let fouls take them out of the rhythm of their game.
There's the ball. Shinosky tapping it over. Ball controlled near midfield. Here's Bercoloni. Luke's been kind of quiet. He's been very strong as usual, but again, he hasn't had a lot of touches in that midfield area.
Yes,
although that might be because of Kyle Porter's effect tonight. Here's Geisley trying to win that. Ball's caroms to Orlando City, and they clear it.
If Orlando's going to keep committing to Geisley down there in front of the box, somebody from the midfield's got to step up because that very easily could have been cleaned up. And I think that's where I'd like to see Vercoloni, but he's been dropping back because I think of Turner playing up. I think, it's the chess game's happening right now, and the halftime adjustments are really going to be interesting. It would not surprise me to see another early goal in the second based on what adjustment which side makes.
Throw in for the Kickers, winding down this first half. And Yambi's going to play it back to Ryan Taylor. Taylor to Shinosky. He's got all kinds of real estate to work with. No pressure.
Taylor stepped into some big shoes here, and that's part of what you deal with when you partner with an MLS club the way the Kickers and DC United have done. You're happy for Joe Willis, but you miss him back there, and it's an opportunity for Taylor, but you've had Willis in the net so long.
There's the ball played to Asante at midfield. And if you talk to a lot of Kickers fans, they're probably going to tell you that they're very high on this team. But again, you bring in Ryan Taylor, young goalkeeper. Is he strong enough to withstand the pressures of games like this and when we get around to the playoffs?
Yeah, at least he gets a few games under his belt before that starts.
Ooh, and Kyle Porter tried to run onto that long ball, and his left-footed shot wasn't close.
I think Porter did the best he could with that. I mean, that was a well-thought ball, especially from that distance. And the fact that Porter was able to catch up to it just speaks to his athleticism. But hard to turn that one on goal.
So here's Gallardo for the goal kick. Made that terrific save moments ago on Jason Geisley, or we'd be tied up at 1 apiece. As it is, it's Orlando City with the 1-0 advantage. And that ball sailed over both Gores. That's going to bring the whistle and the end of the first half. So an early goal in the 8th minute from Lemire has put Orlando City on top. The Kickers had some great opportunities later in the first half, and we just mentioned one a moment ago, Jason Geisley, who just missed getting the equalizer, but a terrific save by Gallardo. So it's 1-0 Orlando City SC at the half. We'll come back. We'll have more of USL Pro Soccer. You're watching Richmond Kickers Soccer on YouTube. And welcome back. City Stadium in Richmond, Virginia at the half. 1-0 Richmond down to the Orlando City SC. Playoffs right around the corner in USL Pro. And, of course, the Richmond Kickers will be at home. Their first home playoff game is set for Saturday night, September 13th. That's when the playoffs begin. So if you can, get your tickets to see Richmond Kickers playoff soccer. Again, Saturday, September 13th is when the Kickers will kick off the playoffs right here at City Stadium. The broadcast of this match is authorized by the Richmond Kickers. Any rebroadcast, retransmission, or other use of any image, sound, account, or description without the express written permission of the club is strictly prohibited. Tonight's match was produced for the Kickers by Tourbeau Sports Group, the official video production company of the Richmond Kickers. At this time, we would like to take a brief moment to thank some of the major sponsors for the 2014 season, and they include the main jersey sponsor, Health Diagnostic Laboratory Incorporated, as well as YOGG, the official club's marketing partner. To learn more about all the sponsors for the Kickers, log on to the club's website at www.richmondkickers.com. We would also like to thank the official apparel provider, Adidas, a sponsor of the Richmond Kickers. Be sure to grab your official Kickers merchandise online or right here at City Stadium on game days. And don't forget, our next broadcast, well, it's going to be that playoff game on Saturday, September 13th. The Kickers will be right here at City Stadium. And, of course, you can catch all the action right here on the official Richmond Kickers YouTube channel. So we're going to take a break. Coming up, we'll have the second half for you. Get you ready for another one we think is going to be a very exciting second half. Orlando City on top, 1-0. You're watching Richmond Kickers soccer on YouTube.
and putting Kyle Porter a little bit more on center, and that's what happened. And now Porter there making a play out into the wing.
Yeah, that first touch eluded him a little bit, and I think part of that was the rain that's affected the field. That ball skidded a little bit on Kyle Porter, but Richmond will get a throw-in out of it. Here's Alex Lee. Lee avoids one defender. Good ball, and George Davis IV just couldn't quite corral it. Here's Porter now looking for a cross. He gets it into the box. Oh, nobody home, though. Yeisley kind of had his momentum impeded, but no call.
Yeah, and I mean, that was a little bit dangerous move by the defender there to put the arms up and draw attention to that. I think that, that could have resulted against him, and now very quickly Orlando City right back at it.
So back comes Orlando City trying to make a move. There's a shot. That was Mbenge, and his shot was wide.
Yeah, that one just looks like he sliced right underneath it and just came off the outside there. Not the touch he wanted to have, and maybe the wet pitch having a little bit to do with that. The Kickers they were really the ones creating. They were the ones moving forward. I mean, Shea Spitz had some great looks both on goal and played some great balls in. We saw Asante make some nice moves out there as well. Porter had some good looks. Yeisley had the best opportunity and just a amazing save that is to be expected.
Right.
Some moans and groans there for a handball from the crowd.
Yep.
From the Kicker faithful that are up
Brave
here at the top of the box with us as well.
Ball played over on the far side. Sasha Gores now back to George Davis IV. Now, I thought Richmond played very well in that first half. Just couldn't get the equalizer or the go-ahead goal. Here's Asante trying to squeeze a pass through. Here's a loose ball, and Vercoloni. His pass went behind George Davis IV.
He hesitated. Davis played for the first touch, and Vercoloni had to kind of reposition himself. I think he had that left foot pointed right. He had to kind of turn a little bit to get that ball to move to his left.
Again, the importance of this game now. Orlando City sitting atop the USL Pro standings, 52 points. Richmond with 49 points. Now, Orlando City does have a game in hand, I believe.
They do. They do have the game in hand right now, and that is also a big difference maker. The Kickers would love to be able to close that gap because they have to go down to Orlando in the regular season finale.
Yep. Not an easy road trip coming. By the way, this is the last regular season home game for the Kickers. Playoffs begin on Saturday, September the 13th. But the Kickers hit the road, and it's not an easy road schedule that they got to close out this season, Joey. I mean, they've got, I know they have the LA Galaxy, too. They also have Orange County. You mentioned Orlando, and I think there's another game thrown in there, too. So
they'll go take on Orange County. They'll basically spend that next weekend out on the West Coast. They'll be at Orange County, then they'll go and play the Los Angeles Galaxy, and then back to Orlando, and that's a lot of travel, in a period of a week. I mean, you head all the way across the country, stay out there for a weekend, fly back, and then down to Florida, because doesn't make any sense for them to go out to Florida or train down there anywhere. They definitely come back home and get a few nights in their own bed, but that's a rough stretch. But also look at what the Kickers were able to have at home in July.
Right, exactly.
They had 5 home games, I believe, just for the regular season, and as well as a couple exhibitions mixed in there as well.
Sante battling. Man.
That's kind of a bad call if that was advantage, because that was definitely Sarah committing a foul there.
There's Gores. Boy, that's a strong. Maybe the wind might have caught that because that thing really took off on Sasha. I think he's surprised.
Yeah, if you look at the corner flag down there by the Red Army, it's really gusting out towards them. And that one, got underneath for Gores. And, he's going to have to compensate for that because he is going to try to send those balls in and over the top.
One other thing, Joey, about the USL standings now. Yes, Richmond is in second place, but just by a point. I believe Sacramento or Galaxy, one of the two, Sacramento, I think, is at 1 point behind. So not only are they trying to track down Orlando City, they've got to look in the rearview mirror because Sacramento is right there on their heels as well. And they really want to get either the first or second seed.
They really do because, like you said, the Kickers are mathematically guaranteed a playoff spot and a home game. But Sacramento can sneak up and nip them. The Galaxy, if they picked up 3 points against them, would improve their chances of moving up in the standings. And even the bottom half of this is just an 8-point separation.
Yeah.
So there's some of these teams know they're going to be on the road. Some of them might not.
Here's a ball lofted into the box. George Davis, the 4, settling it, trying to crank it up. That shot's blocked.
Davis had to pull the trigger a little bit quicker on that one. But remember what we talked about? With Isley being double-teamed, somebody had to be there to clean it up. That's an adjustment that Lee Cullishaw saw, and he made that. And if they continue to try to sandwich Isley down the middle like that, or Isley down the middle, then that's going to be an opportunity for a Porter or a Davis IV or even a Shea Spitz, depending on how that ball comes in, to be there for a second chance.
Turnover now, Orlando City trying to counter.
Orlando City's moving slow. All the creativity they had in the first 20 minutes of this match has totally gone away, and there's been very little build-up either.
Ball played into the middle. Here's a shot on the follow, and they score! And it's going to be number 8, Mbenge, I believe, that followed up.
I believe it was actually Molino for number
Molino?
16, yeah. It was just cross in it, deflected, and Molino was there to clean it up. It's another ball kind of played out, but not enough clearance from the Kickers defense. And Molino from the top of the 18, I don't care if that was Taylor, Joe Willis, or Tim Howard back there. The touch that he put on that ball, he really bent that one up and took it upper 90.
Kind of like the first goal, Joey, where the ball kind of just, initial save was made and it just squirted out, and Lemira banged it into, a low shot. This one, a high shot, which, like I say, there's not a goaltender in the world that could have got that one, I don't think.
No, not at all. I mean, that was just an excellent shot. And once again, coming from distance off the deflection, it's going to be very hard for the keeper to see that.
So here's Porter now off to Asante. Now the road gets very difficult here trying to climb back into this contest. Molino with his 16th goal. Here comes Richmond if they can get a quick one. Here's a cross and a goal!
How did George Davis IV get that into the top of the net? Unbelievable. With the rain just coming down, George Davis finds it. I said the adjustments would lead to early goals in the second. I'm going to pat myself on the back there as I luck out and get one right.
Boy, they needed that one, didn't they?
George Davis IV making me look good right now.
His 11th goal of the season. Delhi, of course, leading the way for Richmond with 14 goals, but George Davis IV is getting closer, and I think that's the third straight game now, Joey, that he has scored in.
George Davis IV has unbelievable creativity as a teammate and as an individual, and he hesitated on that opportunity. Yep. No hesitation there. He drove in, got the keeper one-on-one, and put it up top. It was the only angle he could take with the way that Gallardo had come out on him. And to go up and get that into the top of the net is a risky ball, but George Davis has the kind of touch to finish that.
Throw in for the Kickers. I think it's so important to strike back that quickly because they were down. You could see their heads were dragging a little bit. Now they're up and challenging again. Here's Jambi. 2-1, Orlando City with the advantage.
I mean, the Kickers would love to have the 3 points here. They'd love to walk off the pitch tonight, and I still think it's possible. That's an onside run there from Spitz.
Yep. Here's Spitz. Ball knocked off his foot, and a corner kick for Richmond.
First corner of the match for Richmond coming here early in the second half. And like I said, neither one of these goals, and now there's a little whistle and it's getting chippy in the box. I think even the keeper might have been involved with that, and maybe he and Yaisley getting into it a little bit.
You don't think the goalkeeper was asking for a restaurant in Richmond?
I seriously doubt that's what they were discussing. They'll shake hands afterwards, but right now they are not going to be sharing any friendly exchanges.
So here's Spitz to take the corner kick for the Kickers, looking for the equalizer, down 2-1. It's a short corner. Davis IV plays it back to Spitz. He controls it, and that ball's up in the air, and it's over the end line.
Jambi doing his best to try to get that one in the air and back onto goal. Not a bad try by him.
I think the wind is really having havoc with balls going to the right. As you're looking at the screen, to the right of the goal. I think we saw Gorez's kick really have a lot of it was overcooked, and that one there was just overcooked.
And I think that's initially why Spitz played that short back to Davis IV, because the angle's tough from there. They don't have a lot of room to set up on the corner, but also, you saw when he tried to send that ball in what the wind did to it when it got high.
Yaisley, the ball punched away by Gallardo, and the ball is going to be a goal kick.
Davis there getting over there, though, forcing pressure, trying to force an error on this back line of Orlando City that has been pretty strong.
Yeah.
But the Kickers, they have not lost a step. They've definitely made adjustments. The momentum that they had late in the first, they are carrying right now. Neither one of these goals, I was saying before we had that excitement there, are any fault necessarily of the Kickers' defense breaking down or of anything that Taylor did in
Right,
goal.
right.
These are just deflections.
Yep.
Yeah, maybe a stronger clearance, but some of these balls are just deflections that are just dropping down beautifully. The player with Molino's skill is going to clean that up. Nobody blew an assignment there. Like I said, maybe a stronger clearance, but then that's a good play there and a good strong play to make sure that Molino does not get on the ball there. So, the Kickers, shouldn't hang their heads about the way they've played. They're just playing a very skilled team that have made the best of 2 opportunities.
Long ball played ahead, looking for Yeisley again. Ball settled by Vercoloni, and his pass attempt hit the center referee. That's just an unlucky bounce. There's Molino.
Those have been happening all night for the guys in red, but the skill of the guys in white has shown through. And we're seeing another gear from George Davis IV, and I didn't think he had another one the way he played in the first.
Great ball there, played ahead to Porter from Shinoski. There's Kyle Porter working on the defense. Good run over here on the overlap by Spitz. Spitz with a shot, and I'm pretty sure that he meant to shoot that. If that was a cross, he's got to work on his GPS.
Yeah, I think he was trying to put that one on towards goal, and maybe if nothing else, create a deflection opportunity.
Yep.
Porter broke in, but he was by himself on the forward run. I don't think Yeisley could get through the defense to make a second run on towards goal. So Spitz just tried to play that one on and see if the keeper can make a mistake. And that's a smart move. It's a wet ball out there. It's a wet pitch. And it's not going to be easy for either one of these keepers to catch these shots from distance. I think you'll be seeing these guys dial it up from a little bit further out here throughout the rest of the night as long as the weather is the way it is and that ball stays wet on the field. Definitely slows things down on the ground, but in the air it can be havoc for the keepers.
So here's Orlando City now with possession. Ball played to Ramos.
You see they have to put so much more on it to make that ball on the turf because the water will just take a lot off of it.
Oh, boy, here's Molino unmarked. Molino just outside the box. Went down, no call.
Asante, that's what has to happen with him. If you're not going to step forward and take that space away from him, you have to be right behind him to disrupt.
Off to George Davis IV. Back for Spitz. Here's Yeisley, and his shot was blocked. Good defensive play. Still loose. Here's Porter. Kyle Porter trying to work his way around the defender. Gets it into the box. A shot. It's loose in the box. It's popped up in the air, and Gallardo somehow came up with that ball.
The officials got to get down there when that happens. If you've got a defender laying down inside the 10, he's got to be down there because from where I'm sitting, and I'm not close, it looks like a ball went off a hand just because the guy's laying on the ground. And the officials got to get down there. He's got to make that run when players are that close and see that from behind.
Ball played off. Gallardo got some pressure from Yeisley.
And that was a smart play by Yeisley because, like we said, with the wet ball out there, it's really easy for a keeper to make a mistake with those gloves.
Ball played back now. Flicked ahead. Now Vercoloni taps it back to Gorez.
You deserve to lose the ball if you try to showboat like that. That rainbow's not going to work at this level.
Here's Jambi. Hey, folks, don't forget, make sure to follow at USL Pro on Twitter. That's where you can get all your latest updates. Again, that is USL Pro on Twitter for the latest updates. Follow USL Pro Soccer all season long.
Nice back heel there.
Here's Lee's cross attempt, and it's into the middle of the box and cleared away. Vercoloni got a foot on it.
Vercoloni did the right thing with that. He really couldn't put it on, so he just tried to play it down, center it, and hope that somebody else is there to connect or a mistake can be made. I mean, a wet ball right now, everybody wants to put it in the back of the net, but an own goal will make it 2-2 as well.
Exactly.
So it's not a bad play just to keep playing that ball into the area. And that's a pro foul there on George Davis there just to make sure that run doesn't happen. Let his defense get back.
Here's a ball played through. Mbenge is trying to catch up with it. And he will keep it in play for Orlando City. Mbenge now to Molino.
A little bit more energy out of the 2 stars from Orlando City. And that's what you'd expect, but that one played out of bounds.
We got an Orlando City player upset.
Yeah, Alex Lee came down there and marked Mbengwe very tightly, and I think that's what the Kickers have to do because both he and Molino are too good by themselves to be given a lot of room to breathe down there.
Oh, there's a bad, almost a bad turnover, but Yambi's able to catch up to it. Now here's Gorez. Sancho Gorez.
Sasha chooses to play it short instead of long with the way the wind's been tearing things up.
George Davis, the fourth, dropping it off to Samuel Asante. And his cross was read beautifully by Ramos. And now Mbenge plays it forward. Ball settled down. Here's Molino going right back, and Yambi is going to try to make the sliding tackle. They got around him.
Did a good job of disrupting that.
Yep, ball played in the middle that time. That was Dennis Chin, number 15 for Orlando City.
And look at Shinoski fighting through that one. And, yeah, that's the right call there by the official. Sarin has already got a caution.
Right.
He's not going to get a whole lot of favors with the officials at this point. So, he tried to create the contact and then flop. But, that's a risky play for a guy with one yellow because you can get a card for diving as well.
Oh, yeah.
And the officials do not like to have
right.
They don't like to have their chain jerked on that one.
So here's Chin lining up the throw-in for Orlando City.
And
you might have seen when Yambi slid to make that dive how much water sprayed up when he did.
Yeah, it's a heavy mist right now, and Lee Kolashaw furious down there at the call, and I think he's going to earn himself a caution right before the throw. No, they're going to give it to Asante, but right before the throw-in, you could see the official and Kolashaw lock eyes. Then after the play, and then Sarin, who's been lobbying for a foul since the second half started, finally got the whistle. Now Asante gets the booking, and it's a free kick for Orlando City, and you talked about composure. This is not the match that Richmond needs to be playing.
Right.
This favors the team that's up.
Exactly. So here's Sarin for the free kick opportunity.
And if we know that, Heath definitely knows
exactly.
that.
Ball played into the box, headed away. Here's Spitz. Tried to head it back to Porter.
Chest that down. You had room.
Yep. Here's the ball played on Bengay, and it's knocked off of his foot to be a throw-in for Orlando City.
Kickers are doing a good job of locking down here on the left side, but Orlando is kind of establishing possession here for the first time since about midway through the first half.
2-1, Orlando City on top. George Davis fourth with his 11th goal of the season. It's put the Kickers within one. Here's Sasha Gorez. Mike Neville and Joey Ellswick along with you. Ball played ahead. That deflected off a Orlando City player. And they will control near midfield. Here's Mbenge trying to hook up with Molino. And now the ball's controlled by Alex Lee.
Deceptive pass out to Lee there from Yambi. Body language made that look like it was going downfield.
Yep.
Tell you what, Yambi's played a great match here tonight.
Boy, if I had to guard Yambi, I'd be twisted like a pretzel.
Yeah, I wouldn't take that assignment.
Here's Asante. He'll play it off to Sasha Gorez. Right to Vercoloni at midfield.
The rain's still coming down and misting, but it doesn't look like the wind's gusting as bad right now.
Here's Porter. Kyle Porter. Good layoff that time to Lee.
This is a great build-up here for the
Lee
Kickers.
into the middle. Yeisley couldn't get to it. Ball still available. And it squirts free to Ramos.
We're seeing Yeisley not bite as much either on the double teams. I think he's almost content to let those two center defenders kind of crowd him. And if it deflects off them, he wants to be there for that next touch to try to put it on towards goal and see what Gallardo has to put in front of it.
Here's the ball played to Samuel Asante.
So Yeisley's done a lot tonight without having the ball as much.
Right. Ball squirts free to Asante. For Yeisley, he just couldn't tee it up. And there's a bad turnover. Here's Vercoloni. He's going to have a crack at it. That's blocked at the top of the box. And the ball squirts free now to Mbenge. Mbenge now plays it off on the far side. A couple of opportunities there, but Richmond just unlucky as the ball hit the wall.
I'll take that from Vercoloni, though, from distance on a wet field. It deflected, but if you don't have another option, there's nothing wrong with dialing one up from back there in these conditions.
Here's Ramos making the overlap on the near side. Tracks down the ball in the corner. Works his way near the box. Tried to do a step over. Well defended that time by Lee. It's still loose. And then Shinowski pounds it out of there.
Tell you what, man, that's a guy that comes over from Benfica. And you see this level of skill.
Yep.
As we said, these are two world-class clubs right now, and they both have a lot of talent from a lot of different places. And Ramos is pretty dazzling out there, and Lee did a good job to stay with him, even despite the contact.
And we got a whistle, and it looks like there may be another yellow card displayed and it's going against Alex Lee.
See, Lee's getting that and Vercolone's trying to settle him down. Lee's mouth earned him that yellow card, not his play, and that's unfortunate. Like we said, Lee's a fiery guy. He's a guy I'd love to have in my starting 11.
Right.
Love to have him in my locker room, but that is the drawback.
There's a pass that was picked off by Porter. Here's Asante. And Asante on the move.
He is showing his quickness
Looking
tonight.
for George Davis the fourth. He gets inside the box. A shot. Gallardo with a big save.
World-class shot there from George Davis and world-class keeping from Gallardo. Two of the best going against each other in the USL Pro right there. And it's another corner kick for Richmond.
Joey, how about the speed of Samuel Asante to just blow by his defender and set up that opportunity for George Davis the fourth?
Samuel Asante is fantastic, and he has played great all season. This might be one of the best nights I've seen him at City Stadium. The effort he's putting out here against the top club in his division.
There's the corner kick, and it's swinging over Yambi's head, and out of play to be a goal kick now.
Yeah, and the weather, I just don't think the Kickers have figured out exactly how to send these in. George Davis is better than that on corners. Yeah. And he's got his head down, knows that one got away from him. But the Kickers continue this pressure. I mean, this match is within reach right now, but they really need to. And the pressure on Gallardo, and he didn't have any options.
Right.
Everybody was forward, and no one really thought about being back for that outlet pass.
Exactly. Hey, folks, don't forget Nike is a proud sponsor of USL Pro. You can follow at Nike Soccer on Twitter for all the latest Nike Soccer information.
Another bad part about that yellow card on Alex Lee is it handicaps him a little bit defending out there on the wing, and Ramos has made it clear that he's going to have the ball down there a lot. And Mbinge has also been playing down there on the left side as well, so Lee and Shinoski are going to have to play a very clean game there on the right half of the Kickers' defense.
So throw in for the Kickers. They trail it 2-1. I guess Asante is just stretching.
I mean, he's gone down a couple times, and I've thought maybe he's hurt, but I think he's just trying to stay loose.
There's the ball played off now to Ramos. Mbenge tried to squeeze it past Lee. It's going to be a throw-in for Orlando City.
Yeah, good clean play there by Lee. Just work that one out. Let everybody get time to catch up and tighten up these markings on the throw-in.
Looks like we're going to get a substitution. Looks like Matthew Hall, number 20, is going to pop off the Richmond bench.
Hall was one of the signings from last week. We also had Stephen Bosco come and join us from. And that's got to be a booking. I think it's going the other way. I mean, to me, once again, I caught up with it late. Maybe the official did as well when you're following the ball. But Yaisley is the advancing offensive player. His progress was impeded, and now Yaisley's going to continue to jaw with this official. And I do have to advise against that because he's been quick to go to the back pocket tonight.
Brad Russin, number 3, is the one who got tangled up with Yaisley.
But, Yaisley upset about that one. And like I said, the offensive player tends to get the nod on those types of plays. But we caught up to it late following the ball, and if the official had eyes on it. But I tell you what, this pressure getting there really quickly against Gallardo, and Orlando has not made the adjustment to bring more white shirts back for these passes from goal.
So here is Russin, number 3, in possession. He just taps it forward. And the ball played forward for Molino. Here's Ramos. Ramos down the near side, looking for a cross. Gets inside the box, gets a shot and scores. Rafael Ramos with a beautiful move. And he found a spot on the near post, inside the near post. And it's 3-1.
Adrian Heath with an excellent halftime adjustment there. Dropped Ramos down into the left side. We did not see that kind of attack. We talked about Lee being a little bit hamstrung with that yellow card. He couldn't make a hard foul there. So we had to try to play it clean. Taylor was right there, got a glove on it. But from that distance with that velocity and that skill, that's a hard one for the keeper to stop. And Ramos showed the skill. And now the Kickers are down 3-1. And
Matthew Hall entering the lineup.
You talk about a team maybe struggling a little bit. They're coming in here 2-3. They're struggling on the road, but maybe you also worry did they get that out of their system and we wake up the sleeping giant? Also a substitution. I'll let you get that one in for Orlando City as well.
That's Giuseppe Gentile, number 9, entering the contest for number 15, I believe. Is that number 15? I believe I got the right number
yes.
on there. Yep.
Yeah,
That's Dennis Chin. Yep. So 3-1 Orlando.
And fresh legs on both sides now. We'll see what they're able to do up top. Is the Kickers definitely adding to the
I did not see who Hall came in for. Was it Alex Lee? It was Alex Lee. Okay.
Yeah, so Lee's out of the game now, and I think Lee Collishaw didn't have a choice.
Yeah.
You know, as you said, you got Ramos out there.
Yep.
Ramos is just showing some unbelievable speed because he didn't have to do a lot of that in the first half.
Right.
He's got some gas in the tank. And if you've got Lee with a yellow, he can't mark tightly down there. He can't foul. You know, it's just you don't want to be playing with 10 men.
Oh, look out. Here's Molino. Beautiful ball through, and Taylor read that one and beat. Oh, it's offsides. Okay, wouldn't have mattered anyway.
Taylor made the right read and made the right play to come out for that one. And I also think, you know, Hall brings some skill and some fresh legs out there to that right wing. He can definitely come up and add to the Kickers' attack.
Ball played to George Davis IV. He is the Kickers' goal scorer this evening, his 11th of the season. Good overlap here, and it is Hall. Matthew Hall on the near side. Hall plays it back for George Davis IV. He's got some pressure. Drops it back to Shinosky.
And the Kickers have had so many lineup changes. You don't have Delicott in here tonight. And Kyle Porter, I think, has had some flashes of brilliance, but also had some times where he wasn't sure where he was supposed to be. You saw him overlapping Asante there in the midfield and then kind of having to break out to the left. And, you know, it's a tough break. You know, the Kickers are not at 100% right now, and Orlando City is, and they are showing it.
Of course, Mike Callahan still trying to recover from the concussion. The ball played off to Mbenge.
Yeah, Callahan is on the bench tonight, but and looks like he is.
Looks like Mike's going to come in, doesn't it?
Yeah, I think he's got the jersey off. I mean, we told he was cleared to play, but he started this game on the bench. But, you know, the Kickers are really going to have to throw it at the offense now. They've got just under 17 minutes now to try to dig this out and find 2, if not 3 goals.
And, Joey, you know, if you do that, you're certainly susceptible to some counterattacks that may lead to some breakaways or advantage for the Orlando City offense.
And what we've seen from Orlando in their first 2 goals from Orlando City is that it doesn't take a whole lot for their individuals to be able to put one on. That's hard to defend. You know, they've been really good cleaning up some deflections.
There's Gorez now off. Ball played ahead. And ball played back by Vercoloni, but he couldn't slip it through. And it's Orlando City now on the corner trying to spring Gentile. And now Taylor will run that ball down and then tap it to Shinosky.
And that's Gentile's job. Gentile came into this game, as a forward for Chen, but they've put Gentile on top, and they've sort of playing Molino back in the 2 spot.
There's Porter. And that shot is way off the mark.
But Gentile's going to be back there to pressure and try to force those mistakes because you know that Hall's got to come up. You know on the left side it's going to be the same thing. So it's just going to be, very dicey for the Kickers from here on out as Gorez is also going to play forward. And really he's going to be there just as a fresh set of legs for the next, for the rest of this game.
Nate Robinson coming into the contest replacing Luke Vercoloni. Shea Spitz, and now Callahan replacing Vercoloni.
And you can see Shea Spitz coming off. Shea Spitz has really worked hard tonight. And Callahan back there in the defensive mid spot definitely helps shore things up. He can give you some nice outlet passes from the middle of the field.
Well, it's great to see number 5 back on the pitch, I can tell you that.
Concussions are nothing to play with here. And good to see that he's cleared because it's concussion can end your career very quickly.
Here's Robinson playing it wide. George Davis IV with a cross, and Robinson couldn't quite get to it.
On a dry pitch, Robinson gets there.
Yep.
Because that one would have gone the speed you needed it to.
We play on as the center referee says no foul. Ball played back to Gallardo. And Gallardo clears it out. He's made 2 spectacular saves tonight to keep this a 3-1 game, folks. If you're just joining us, Gallardo has been so good in goal for Orlando City.
Yeah, I mean, Orlando City really dedicates a lot of attention to that forward. I mean, they're double-teaming Isley down the middle every time. And so Gallardo's been able to clean up some opportunities. And, foul called back there. But I tell you what, Ramos has got to watch out because the boot got pretty high on that one near the sideline as well.
Yep. Hey, folks, don't forget every USL Pro regular season and playoff game will stream live on YouTube in this 2014 season. Features include DVR, chat, and social media interactivity. Subscribe for free to the Richmond Kickers YouTube channel today.
Guess we'll be watching all those games from home as the other teams do the broadcasts.
And that ball is over the end line. We got a whistle, though. And they're going to say corner kick. Well, still have a shot here. I mean, they still have well over 10 minutes. About 14 minutes maybe?
The Kickers have not been for lack of opportunities tonight. Orlando City knows that.
Right.
The Kickers should not treat themselves as if they're out down 2 goals here this late.
That corner kick cleared away. There's Callahan. That was a good cross by Hall, but it was defended nicely by Orlando City, and this is all they want to do. They just want to run the clock now. They're going to kick the ball into the corners, try to run as much time off the clock as they can.
Yeah, they brought fresh legs in. They're going to play most of their jerseys in the Kickers' offensive half of the field.
And that first touch eluded Nate Robinson. It'll be a goal kick.
And they may look. And you're going to hear it from the Red Army there. But they're a little bit upset, too, with the amount of time that's being taken to set up this goal kick.
Joey, it looks like the rain's picked up as well.
Yeah, this is not what we expected in the forecast tonight. We knew it was a possibility, but didn't expect this much to come and dump all over the field. But it's definitely picking up. It's humid. Virginia's humid.
Exactly.
And there's a lot of moisture in the air. Sometimes these systems come in and they can just churn right over the area.
But we've been pretty fortunate this summer as far as the weather goes.
This has been a fantastic summer. It's just been nice nights. I mean, you told me 5 games in July that we'd be out here working. I mean, normally I'm out on the camera there.
Exactly. There's an opportunity. George Davis, the 4th, with a cross. And a goal! Beautiful feed from George Davis, the 4th, and the Kickers won't quit.
Davis, the 4th, doing it offensively, now doing it with the assist, and he's pushed forward, and they've really brought in the midfielders. They're running their lanes now a little bit tighter into the 18, and it is causing trouble for Orlando City because, like I said, they collapse on that forward in the center. Davis has gotten free. We've seen a little bit of it with Porter, though Porter hasn't found his touch, but Davis twice now on the left side, and the Kickers now, they've got 12 minutes here to try to equalize.
Nate Robinson with the goal. That is his first goal of the season. George Davis, the 4th, picks up his 5th assist of the season to go with his 11th goal that he scored earlier tonight. And all of a sudden, Richmond, again, the resiliency of this team, Joey, they're just not going away.
Yeah, this is 1st and 2nd place, and they know what's on the line here. You know, the Kickers they had the deck stacked against them. I mean, Orlando City's on the road, but they had their starting 11 the way they wanted it. Lee Colishaw's really had to dig in. He's had to put some new players out on the field. Like you said, resiliency is the word. Just some great skill, and Robinson and Callahan have just been excellent subs here for the Kickers in the second half.
So Nate Robinson with his first goal of the season brings the Kickers to within 1. Here's Jambi.
Jambi doing a good job of using the field in front of him because Orlando's just giving it to him.
Here's Gorez. That weather, as we mentioned, the rain's picked up. Now there's going to be some slipping and sliding. Here's George Davis. Boy, George Davis, the 4th, again laying it off for Yeisley. He couldn't get to it, though. George Davis, the 4th, is causing all kinds of problem on that far side, Joey.
Yeah, he's not the only guy who's gotten woken
and
up.
Gallardo handles that.
And you tell you what, though, that's what we talk about. You know, that wasn't even the strongest shot that he's seen tonight, but it bobbled a little bit.
Yep.
The Kickers, if they don't have anybody out front, if that pass is not there, if you're within 25 yards of that goal, you blast that at him.
Exactly.
Make him use his hands. Because if nothing else, he may have to deflect it out, and then you can do what Orlando did for their first 2 goals and clean this one up.
Ball played back to Taylor. Now Taylor off to Shinosky. Kickers looking for the equalizers. We wind this second half down in a monsoon.
Yeah, it's really gotten nasty out there.
Ball up in the air, and Robinson running onto it. And down goes the Orlando City player. No call. Good pressure from Hall. It'll be a goal kick for Orlando City.
The soccer fan in me loves Robinson for staying on his feet for that ball. The Kickers fan in me wishes he went down with him.
Yeah.
Because he might have gotten the whistle.
Might have drawn a call, yeah.
But I don't blame Robinson for playing for a better opportunity there. That is the heads-up play. But Robinson really coming alive out there. And I tell you, just the adjustments that the Kickers have made, they were knocking on the door in the first half. They're kicking. They're ready to kick this door down here in the second.
Goal kick, Hall going up. It floated over his head, and Mbenge trying to control it. And now the ball played back to Shinowski. He'll roll it over to Yambi.
Callahan really fought through to win that ball back.
And here is Callahan near midfield. Well, we had Jason Yeisley on a couple of games ago, Joey, and he said one of the biggest things after coming back from percussion, not so much physically, but mentally.
Yes.
Because you're so concerned about, getting another one or, that's the biggest hurdle when you have a concussion. And I really not enjoy, but I'm happy that sports now are taking seriously concussions.
Oh, certainly. It has to be.
Back in the day, it's such a serious situation.
Oh, yeah, and in pro football, it's such a thing.
Yeah.
And Callahan's got some sort of headgear on. I don't know if it's a headset or if it's Peter Cech, who's the keeper for Chelsea. He had some concussions. He doesn't play with that anymore. He wears that padded helmet. I think Callahan's got something similar over there as well. Probably not as elaborate because he needs the head to play as part of his game, but he definitely looks like he's got something around the forehead. And Lee Colishaw, talk about positioning the pieces on the board. He told everybody, do not rush this free kick. He wants to draw. He wanted to draw something up. This is something that this team has practiced, and now the official and the side judge are both out there having to settle things
getting
down.
Really testy, which you would expect because these are two teams that certainly have aspirations of winning a championship, and they know how important this game is for Orlando. If they can pick up 3 points, they clear themselves by 6 points if they could hang on and win here. If Richmond could simply get a draw, they it'd be better than a loss, obviously. So lots riding on this contest, this match tonight for both teams.
And Orlando's only got, they're splitting home and away. They're at Wilmington twice after tonight, and then home against Dayton, which a game you'd think they'd win, but Dayton drew us. They're coming on a little bit late in the season. And Dayton's not out of the running. If Dayton can pick up, 9 points, they could find themselves as a low seed in the playoffs.
And I still think that Wilmington team, Joey, is a good team. They came in here, and I think they drew a 2-2 draw. They're a good team.
Yeah, they're a team that knows how to score. They just got to learn how to defend a little bit better. Gorez didn't get what he wanted off of that one, but Hall will have a chance to send another one out. The trick is to be on side here, and Hall takes the time and lets his team reset.
Trying to squeeze a pass through. It's cleared away by Orlando City.
That was Davis the fourth again. Just talk about individual skill.
Boy, he's had a heck of a game. He's been in a lot of stuff tonight for the Kickers, and it's been positive stuff too, believe me. So here is Callahan. Off to Robinson. Robinson playing it back to Taylor. Taylor way out of goal. He gets some pressure from him from Gentile. And now here's Jambi. Jambi takes a look. Plays it long. And the ball's tracked down by Hall.
And Yeisley's come out from the middle a little bit until the ball gets down into the scoring area.
There's Callahan. Beautiful ball for Robinson. And Nate's feet came out. And the ball did go over the end line. It'll be a corner kick.
Yes, that was over. The ball was over the end line. And I know Ramos is upset, but he was all over the end line touching that ball. Not what Robinson intended to do. He lost the footing because of the wet track. But this is a great opportunity for the Kickers. No corner kicks in the first. Let's see if they can, but they've had a hard time dialing it in on the corners now, and they're going to be kicking into wind and the heaviest rain we've seen yet tonight.
So here's Sasha Gorez. He'll take this kick, and I don't think it's going to be a short corner.
And Molino actually is coming off the field.
So he's being replaced. Did I see the number 4? Is that
yes?
Tommy Redding is replacing the USL's leading scorer, Kevin Molino.
So talk about a commitment to defense here for the final 6+.
Boy, a strong kick, and that ball's going to go over the end line for a goal kick.
I know it's hard to get those calls on those corner kicks, but and the ball wasn't playable is going to be the referee's argument there. But that was a clear elbow in the back against Porter.
Yep. Mike Neville, Joey Ellswick along with you, the rest of the Tourbeau Sports Group. Hope you're enjoying our coverage of a very exciting USL matchup this evening here at City Stadium in Richmond, Virginia, with Orlando City nursing a 3-2 advantage.
Tip of the hat to our crew tonight as they've been out there in the elements.
Joey's smiling because he sometimes runs camera, and he's staying dry tonight, so he's very happy that he's up here.
I got rained on one game, and I haven't been here without my rain jacket since. So I told these guys, I said, if it gets nasty, I'm going to come out there and help you guys roll these cables. So.
And to restart, the official. No,
I don't even need to commentate on
exactly.
that call. Our fans next door doing that for us.
Yeah, they took care of that for you.
Took it right out of my mouth there on that one.
You got to give them part of your paycheck.
I know, I do.
Here's Callahan. Now the ball's dropped back to Hall. Or excuse me, Asante. Here's Callahan.
A lot of traffic in the box right now.
Yeah.
While the Kickers are able to build up, it's hard to find somebody.
Gorez tried to slip a pass through. It's now controlled by Mbenge. Mbenge now playing it long down the field, and Yambi, and Taylor's out of the goal. Taylor better, oh boy. Here is Gentile.
Oh, Hall can't miss that one.
And his shot goes over the goal.
Yeah, Hall cannot miss that one right in front of him. Yambi was where he needed to be, and I don't blame Taylor for coming out, but when he saw Yambi closing in, he needs to go back and get on his line. The Kickers cannot afford to stand around and watch right now.
Yeah.
Shanowski.
Shanowski was able to regroup and get the ball.
And look at George Davis seeing the problem coming all the way back. He's the one that made the outlet there.
And that ball just slid off of George Davis, the fourth foot. Ball is banged forward looking for Porter. And the loose ball falls to Orlando City, and they'll just, again, that's all they want to do. They want to bang it down to the Richmond end and make Richmond go the entire field. Kind of like in hockey at the end of a game. You want to send it all the way down the ice, just that it's not ice.
Sneaky little play there. Not the best cross in, though, from Gorez.
Oh, good anticipation, though, by Callahan. Here's a shot. That deflected. Now, that deflected. Did it go off? It's going to be a corner kick.
Yeah, that should be a corner kick. That definitely deflected. I believe it was maybe Rusin who came up for that one and kind of threw his body at it, got the intended result, but it does deflect out for a corner kick. And so Davis the fourth going to take it now.
Yep, George Davis the fourth will line it up for Richmond. They really have not had a lot of success on these corner kicks.
Sante coming off as well, Mike.
Deshaun Hanley, yeah.
Yeah. And so Hanley, I tell you what, that's a kid who's got a lot of great soccer left in front of him. You know, on a different team, he might be starting.
Right.
There's just a lot of depth here at his position.
It's a low driven ball, and Porter tried to flick it with the heel pass.
Don't blame him for putting that one on, but maybe there was a chance to play that back out and set something up.
Here's Hall into the box, and it's loose. Oh, it almost squirted free to Hanley. He was waiting for it on the far side. But unfortunately, it was cleared away by Orlando City as they defended well.
Yeah, Orlando's going to stay back on their heels and just try to absorb this. This is the best opportunity that the Kickers could hope for.
Here's Callahan. Tackle, and it will be a throw-in for Richmond. Callahan looking for a whistle. And another throw-in for Richmond. Here's Gorez. Going back to Callahan. Callahan trying to look for a cross, and his cross attempt blocked away, and throw in once again for Richmond. Here's the ball in the box, turning, shooting, and that went off an Orlando player, and hustling to try to keep it in play, and does. And then dropping it forward. Good anticipation by Hall, but a foul on Deshaun Hanley. I think
you do not blow the whistle there. You keep the whistle in your pocket. You're in the final minute of second half play.
And now we've got a little get together as Matthew Hall. I thought Hall was going to help, I believe it was Gentile that was taken down.
Hall picked the ball up and walked away, and now they're still getting in their face. So Hall has already gotten a caution. I think another caution is going to come out here now, and I believe this is going to go to Turner, as Turner's going to get shown a yellow as well.
So it might have been, no, it was number 22 that got taken down, Valentino.
Yeah, Turner was the one who got back into the little dust-up, though, there and had some words. He and Lemira both. Not safe for broadcast words coming from the crowd down there and from the Red Army, and frustration due so as we're now in added time, and it looks like they held up 6, I believe.
I didn't get a chance to see.
No, I think he's getting ready to show it now.
Okay.
It's going to be 5.
5 minutes. And that ball is kept in play on some nice hustle by Deshaun Hanley. Ball at midfield, and is controlled now by Orlando City.
George Davis IV falling down on the wet turf there. Couldn't get to that one in the midfield.
The ball's just flicked down, and Gorez, and a whistle and a foul.
I don't see how that was. Agores wasn't anywhere near there.
Well, I think they called Callahan. I think Callahan kind of cut off the pass.
Clipped him on the backside there.
As he was running towards Gorez, I think Callahan kind of clipped him, and I think it's a good call.
It's a tough one for the Kickers right now.
So here's the free kick opportunity for Orlando City. Up 3-2. And they go over to Ramos on the near side. He settles. Getting some pressure from Robinson. Just flicks the pass ahead. Collision, no call. And
I'll take it.
Here's Hall, and he's fouled. And oh boy, the Orlando City bench up in arms over that.
I thought that might be bookable because that was a tackle from behind.
And another foul.
Yeah. And they're trying to grind the clock down now with these fouls. They're trying to disrupt play and not let the Kickers get back towards goal. Callahan rushes it, though.
There's Kyle Porter playing it ahead to George Davis IV. Right back to Porter. Porter's got an overlap. He tried to squeeze a pass through to Hanley. Just missed. Here's Gallardo, and got some good pressure from George Davis IV. These two teams could meet again in the championship game of the USL Pro playoffs, although
they'll meet again at the end of the season. It'll be this talk about that game in hand. The Kickers will be, it'll all be evened up when the Kickers and Orlando City meet up.
And that is what day? That
is September the 6th.
Okay.
So that one's going to be a big Saturday showdown.
Yep.
May have to get a watch party somewhere going here, Mike. I don't want to be sitting at home on the couch watching that one on the laptop or on the iPad.
Right. But again, two more road games before that with LA Galaxy and Orange County. Here's a ball into the box, and it's controlled by Orlando City. Ramos playing it forward.
Yaisley's just been banging all night against the center defense, and he was fighting for position and just couldn't get free on that one.
Here's the ball played ahead by Yambi to Kyle Porter. Porter at midfield looking for some options. He's going to go to Nate Robinson. That's going to be too much. He overcooked it.
I got to think the official's going to start looking at the watch here. We have definitely milked some of the time, but we've also had some more stoppage in stoppage time, which sometimes will extend the game a little bit longer.
So a goal kick for Gallardo, and again, he made two great saves, one in the first half to Rob Yaisley, and then in the second half, I can't remember who it was that got a shot away, but he was right there to make the terrific save to keep his team in the lead.
I think it was George Davis IV on that one where he kind of hesitated there.
I think you're right.
And then he came back and scored just a couple minutes later, Mike.
And that ball's pounded out of play by Valentino. Here's Robinson off to Matthew Hall. Hall taking a peek, puts it into the box. It's kind of a low-driven ball, and it's easily defended by Orlando City. Here's Callahan. Aiden Heath, the head coach of Orlando City, up off the bench directing his team. Here's Mbenge. Mbenge now is just going to take it to the corner. He's going to utilize some clock. Well, I thought he was going to take it to the corner. Instead, he crossed it. Taylor came out. Here's Gorez.
Taylor made the right play, though, to disrupt that. I know it was a risky collision with Gentile hanging around there, but ball lost in the midfield, and Kickers have got to get their heads down and their bodies forward here as they're playing 90-plus minutes now in full time.
Ramos battling Robinson, and he earned a throw-in for Orlando City. They're milking this clock every... So here's the throw-in for Ramos. Here's Sarin. And that ball is still in play.
Just a battle for it near the sidelines. Boy,
somebody took a swipe with a kick. I think it was Ramos. He took just a wild swipe, and Lee Collishaw is marching out to the official as the whistle blows. So the 23-game unbeaten streak is over, And Orlando City will increase their lead, Joey, in the standings over Richmond at least to 6 points now.
Lee Collishaw wanted to jaw with the officials, did the right thing, and came back with the coach's handshakes and stuff. But, Collishaw is a class guy. I can't say so much for what I saw from Ramos there. Wouldn't turn around and look Collishaw in the eye when he gave him the handshake. Ramos had a good game. He scored a strong goal. Yeah. No need to act like that when you're leaving the pitch. That one will be remembered when the Kickers make the trip down to sunny Orlando. There on September 6th.
Orlando City will improve to 17-3-4 on the season. Richmond with just their second loss of the season, 13-2-10. Boy, if they had a couple of those draws that were wins, but that's, hindsight 2020, of course. But 3-2 is the final. We're going to take a quick break. We'll come back and we'll wrap things up here at City Stadium. Once again, the Kickers fall their first home loss of the season. 3-2 is the final. We'll be back to wrap things up from City Stadium. Stay with us. We'll just do a quick wrap and then. All right, welcome back. City Stadium as the Richmond Kickers drop a tough 3-2 decision. The Kickers never gave up. They fell behind 1-0. They were down 2-0 in the second half. Got a goal to make it 2-1. Fell behind 3-1, and you thought, well, that's it. They're done. But they battled back, got a goal to make it 3-2. Nate Robinson with his first goal of the season to draw within one. And Joey, a terrific effort by the Kickers, but Orlando City, a very good team. And we've got down at the far end, there must be some Orlando supporters down there because they're around the Orlando team.
Yeah, I tell you what, Orlando City, as good as advertised. I mean, they came in here at the top of the table and they played like the first-place team despite their struggles in their last few matchups, and they bounced back from a disappointing road loss. They've not been a good road team this year, but, they're just a strong team. I mean, this is, we talked about, a well-run program, a well-coached program, an MLS future. They made the right move to sign players on this team now to keep them in Orlando.
Right.
They've been at the top of the table in 2011 and 2012. They won the trophy in 11 and 13. This is an excellent club.
Yep, exactly.
But the Kickers without Delhi, the Kickers without several players. I mean, they were without Delhi tonight. You have Callahan coming back in off of the returning tonight. You brought Shanowski down. You brought Porter down. You don't have Joe Willis anymore. You don't have Kalungi.
Yep.
And they played the first-place team in these conditions about as good as I possibly could. There's a ton of positives to take out of this game.
Yep.
It hurts now. You want to win, but there are a ton of positives to take out of this. You've got a tough road trip coming up. You go out and make sure you get your points on the West Coast, and I think that this is a team you have a chance to pay this favor back to the Lions when you go visit them down in Orlando in September.
Exactly. Right. For a last regular season home game for the Kickers, they'll hit the road to wrap up the regular season. 3 road games, and of course that all wraps up September 6th, the regular season at Orlando. But again, Orlando inching closer to that regular season title and the top seed for the upcoming USL Pro playoffs. Once again, the final: Orlando City 3, Richmond 2. On behalf of our production team and my broadcast partner Joey Ellswick, great working with you, Joey.
Absolutely.
I'm Mike Neville, and once again, the final score from City Stadium is 3-2 Orlando City with the victory. So long, everybody, from Richmond.